My fiance asked to open our relationship, and I think it's because of his friend.
Let's close that line of questioning down.
I, 28 female, and my fiance, John, 28 male, have been together for about 5 years. To understand the dilemma, I need to give you some background. We both came from very religious backgrounds, though it affected both of us very differently. John became a problem child, running away and causing problems, and eventually finding a crowd his parents would not approve of. Most of the members of this group were part of the LGBTQ plus community, smoked the devil's lettuce, engaged in protests, and were either atheists or practiced a different religion. By the way, this comes from user WildBoar1142, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. Although some of the members have since left, this crowd became his current friend group. I won't go into details about each and every one of them, but the main ringleaders are Alex, 35 non-binary, and Avery, 33 male. From what I understand, they collected damaged people, as John jokingly said one day, and let them couch surf when things got rough. Alex is some sort of a nepo baby, and Avery works in IT or something like that. John met them when he was 15. At first, I thought they seemed very cool and couldn't wait to meet them, since John equated their relationship to that of a child and a parent, so clearly very important people in his life. But when I finally met them, when we were 21 and in college and home for the summer break, the meeting left me a bit disillusioned. Alex was catty and had snide remarks, since I wasn't LGBTQ or anything, at most bi-curious, and Avery treated me like a child. But John said they always need to break new people in. So I tried to think positive and did my best to impress them with what I was studying and what my plans for the future are, both regarding me personally and my relationship. But the more I talked, the more they seemed to disapprove of me. Despite this strange meeting, John seemed ecstatic to see them again and gushed about how much they liked me, so I kept my mouth shut and just nodded along. Now, to understand a bit deeper on who Alex and Avery are, in the town they live in, they're something like local celebrities. Very spiritual. Their home is full of souvenirs they've accumulated over all their travels. They're also married, but their definition of marriage is very different from the traditional one. Apparently, they went to some tropical state and took some hallucinogens together, and in their state, they proclaimed everlasting love for one another. Quite a wild concept for someone like me, but I learned to be more open-minded since I left for college. That being said, they also said that they can see auras, whatever that is, and apparently love my fiancés. I don't know what they think of mine, but it probably isn't much. Which brings us to the topic I came here with. Last week, after we got home from work, John sat me down and asked me what I think about being in a polygamous relationship. He said he loves me so much, more than is possible, and doesn't know what to do with the rest of it, thinking that it's fair to give it to someone else. I, on the other hand, don't have a limit on how much I can love him, so I said no, and that was that. However, the question has been plaguing my mind ever since. If you knew John just a fraction, a numerator and a denominator, you'd know he researches about things long before he actually commits to anything. Any lifestyle or relationship change, or whatever. This makes me think that he has already thought about it for a while, and that he also consulted Alex and or Avery about this. I don't want to villainize them, but I know for a fact they're not in a monogamous relationship, and they clearly don't like me as the rest of their little group. Again, I don't want to point fingers, and I won't ask John to show me his messages with them unless I have solid proof that it isn't just a gut feeling, but I just have this horrible feeling that they somehow pulled in John. There's no way he just thought about it suddenly on his own, 5 years into our relationship, and the idea of non-monogamy was never brought up, and now suddenly, just as we're about to be married, he brings this up. I don't buy it one bit, but I can't just go ahead and confront them now, can I? I just don't know what to do. I feel stuck. At home, I pretend everything is fine since my group of close friends told me that I'm just overthinking. And I believed it for a while, but whenever I look at John, all I can think of is he thinks there's a cap on how much he can love me, and he wants to love someone else. I want to deal with this, but I don't know how. If I bring it up with John, he'll just brush it off as well, or he'll think I'm cheating, or I don't trust his friends. I worked hard to get their approval, and I know for a fact John shares everything with them. He wouldn't keep this for himself. I just hope that someone here can give me pointers on how to proceed. Thanks. We got some relevant comments.
I mean, just that OP should not feel like she's stuck. You can leave. You don't have to stay in this relationship. If he wants something and is not willing to back down on it, and you're like, that's not what I want, then don't do the thing that you don't want to do. It's like that's it. That is it.
What do you want? Not that. When do you want it? Never.
Never.
Good. Degenerate TITI liquor. If you don't swing that way, then end it. It'll only get worse once you're married. This is not something you can compromise on. He wants to fool around with other people while you do not. OP says, God, the idea of ending our relationship is so scary. I feel like I built my entire life since leaving for college around him. And if we separate, I'm worried I'm going to fall apart. Hashtag codependency. But I understand where you're coming from. I need more time to process the reality of it all. Why God Why 94 says, don't let them brainwash you. There are plenty of cases where people are pulled into someone else's lifestyle and then are randomly dropped. It will leave you wondering who you even are. I've been there and it ruined me. What happens if you drink the Kool-Aid and they reject you later? It's hard to come back from that, and I'm not saying this as a matter based solely on spicy preferences either. New age, mumbo-jumbo, or auras mixed with radical changes in spicy interests can really mess somebody up. A lot of people like this function almost like a hive mind or a popular clique in high school. If you already feel like you're being pushed away from the group and now he's making this request, it's a bad sign. Also, the idea of him having so much love that it's unfair to only give it to you is a horrible cop-out and a very common sense excuse people use when trying to convince their SO to try poly or open. It's often used to guilt people, almost like he's suggesting you're greedy for wanting to keep your relationship personal and exclusive. I'd say just be careful. I don't want you to end up hurt like I was. Dedicating yourself to one person while their character and lifestyle is completely changing can end up with you getting hurt bad. If he is sincerely changing in this way, I'd be worried about how much you invest in him. I only say this because I was fully invested in my ex, and she started hanging out with a group of college friends more frequently towards the end. One day, we got into a small argument over parking, and it ended with her saying she wasn't certain what her spicy proclivity was anymore and wasn't sure if she was even female anymore and that we had to end things. Now, I would have been fine with helping them figure themselves out. But for her, it kind of just became her excuse to break up with me. I think it was more about her and them wanting to have fun and was influenced by her group of friends all being single or experimenting who all came out around the same time. I think she saw them having fun and felt the FOMO, to be honest. To her, the commenter continues, she was getting her chance to catch up on fun she may have missed out on being in a relationship. To me, it was losing a piece of myself that I invested years of love into. OP says, I'm really sorry you had to go through that. I really hope John isn't using this as a maneuvering tactic to get out of the relationship or as a chance to catch up. It doesn't sound like him, but I'll keep this in mind. And there's an update. You have anything to add here? Should we just cruise right into it?
I think that comment wasn't really relevant. I think that if he wants to have this polygamous relationship, that is his own thing, and it has nothing to do with you. And if you don't want it, then you leave that relationship.
The whole point of this is that it might not be his own thing. That's OP's thought, is that since he's been hanging out with this group of people, suddenly, instead of being like, now we're getting married and we've been together for 5 years and it's been our plan to just be married the whole time, suddenly he's like, I need multiple life partner. I need multiple husbands. I need multiple spouses.
Then she can have a conversation with him and say like, hey, where are these feelings coming from? Is this actually what you want?
Right. Update. Me and John came from similar backgrounds, but my family was a bit less strict, allowing me to go to college since I had great grades. The plan for me was to move back after getting a degree, finding a job, a husband, and living the traditional life, which obviously didn't happen because I met John, who literally changed the trajectory of my whole life. After a year, I switched from my first major to one I liked more, and it's been a while since I contacted my parents. They didn't approve, of course, but with John's help, I didn't give in to their demands to come back. Now they know I'm getting married and are invited, but the last time we spoke was about 2 months ago. John is completely no contact with his parents since 18. I didn't talk about the friend group in more detail at first, since I didn't think they were that important, but they do like me. At first, they were obviously a bit unsure, since to them I was a cishet white passing woman, but they warm up to me, and I'm proud to call them my friends. The only people who didn't fully accept me are Avery and Alex, and since me and John got together officially, they tend to call me the wife in this strange, almost derogatory, dismissive manner. It's not an important detail, but it gets on my nerves. Lastly, John is aware that opening up the relationship would lead to me being intimate physically or emotionally with other people, but he said it's a great chance for me to explore my bi side, though I haven't expressed the desire to really be with a woman in
You've
a committed
already expressed
relationship
that
of
you're
that magnitude.
straight.
On to what happened. I shot a message over to John 2 days ago and said that we needed to talk. He works from home and I don't, so as soon as I got home, we sat down to have an in-depth conversation about his proposal. I think he knew what it's going to be about, and I had the feeling he seemed almost guilty, but I ignored that and basically word vomited everything that's been on my mind. This is embarrassing because I wrote down most of what the comments advised and was prepared to have a mature discussion, but by the end of my easily 15-minute rant, I was in tears and he had to hold me. Otherwise, I'd crumble completely. The gist of what I said is that I'm hurt that he wants to be intimate with other people and that he doesn't care that I would do the same. That he believes there's a limit to how much he can love me, and that I can't see where this all came from. He just sprung this on me out of nowhere just a few months before we were supposed to be wed. We tried to have a mature discussion, yes, but by the end, he was frustrated. He did apologize for making me feel less than, but said that my outlook on an open relationship is selfish. What it all boiled down to was that he feels he didn't have enough time to find himself before he committed to me, which is BS because he didn't show any signs of wanting more than I could offer. We were very happy throughout the 5 years, and I really believed I met my soulmate. I realized that since we were engaged, he seemed to talk more to this friend group and by extension to Avery and Alex. Again, I don't want to paint them as these cartoonish villains. They're really interesting and all, but now I want nothing more than to scratch those self-absorbed, smug smiles off of their face. In the end, I demanded to see his phone, and he was shocked. We had a rule that we can see each other's phones, but we don't share passwords or anything since relationships are built on trust, and neither of us wanted to be a prison guard in the relationship. Nevertheless, he unlocked and handed over his phone, and I searched his messages, even deleted ones, and found nothing out of the ordinary. Then I checked the call log, and guess effing what? Hours-long calls to and from either Avery or Alex. I was fuming and asked him what does he need to discuss with them for this long. And mind you, these were dated months back. John eventually caved in and admitted it was them who brought up the idea of open relationship, but they also talked about everything else since there's such a role model. John admitted that he started getting cold feet a while ago and needed a safe place to discuss this. I guess I, his wife-to-be, am not safe, even though he loves you so much that the love overflows and is like a threat to our very existence because there's so much love, it might engulf the whole planet.
Again, I really don't think it matters if they convinced him to do it because he was convinced. He didn't come to you. He didn't talk about the problems that you guys were having in the relationship. Instead, he went to other people and then heard their, nonsense idea.
All right.
That he probably knew that you would not be on board about. And then when it was like, yeah, I'm going to tell you right before the wedding that I want to do this.
I guess I, his wife-to-be, am not safe. Please make it make sense. Why would you even marry me then? He promised we'd go to a couples counselor and fix all of this, his issues with marriage, the open relationship thing, and the whole 9 yards, and that he'd book an emergency session with his therapist, that he loves me and wants nothing but to be with me. It was late, so we went to bed. Despite how messy this all sounds, I was a bit more reassured by this. I genuinely love him, even if my post doesn't reflect that very well. Though many people have said just to leave, I want that to be the last resort. I was willing to jump through hoops to make this work. And by the way, we've got hoops to last you for the rest of your life for you to listen to on Spotify and iHeartRadio and Apple Podcasts. They're in the full episodes with stories just like this one. Search the name of our show, OK Storytime, and you can listen until your ears fall off.
Ay. OP, you don't have to get married to this guy. If he wants to go to marriage counseling to try and convince, it's not that he said this, but if he wants to go to marriage counseling to convince you to do what he wants, it's not going to work.
Yeah, I honestly, all of that aside, I would just press him until he admits that what he said made no sense, that he has so much love he can't give all of it to you.
Doesn't make any sense.
It's like, just tell me the real thought. Tell me the actual thought. And if you don't have an actual thought, then what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
But guess who's the idiot? This morning, I woke up to an empty apartment and a message on my phone from John saying that he needs a few days to think this all over and needs space. He didn't say where he was going or when he'd come back. I called and messaged everyone I know, but no one can tell me where John is. I told him he either comes back home in 24 hours or this is over. As you can imagine, I'm a wreck. I took the rest of the week off, and between crying sessions and staring blankly into the wall, I obsessively check my messages in hopes of someone telling me where John is. To be honest, if he's willing to put me through this, I'm not sure I want to be with him. How can you do this to someone you love? And that
you don't really love him.
is the end of that story, and I agree.
My boyfriend's sister keeps bringing up his ex, and I'm getting tired of it.
Sounds like we need to bring her out back and get rid of her.
I have been with my 29 female boyfriend, 32 male, for 4 years. He dated this one woman who is 10 years older than him for 6 years, about 3 or 4 years before we met and dated. My boyfriend's name is Aaron, and he has an older brother, Nate. Nate recently got married to Cassie. Cassie and my boyfriend's ex, Kate, have been longtime best friends. By the way, this comes from Common Donut 6462, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, Nate and Cassie met through Kate while my boyfriend and her were together. Kate has a daughter, not my boyfriend's biological kid. For a few years, though, Aaron and Kate lived together, so he obviously had a good relationship with her daughter. I posted a story a few months ago about running into her daughter while our families were celebrating Mother's Day, and how uncomfortable that was because my boyfriend's mother refused to really say who she was to my mom. My mom was just curious and kept pushing who she was, and I knew immediately. Very weird situation. Kate is constantly brought up in random situations. I've learned to just deal with it. I can't help that my boyfriend and her dated for some time, and she still has a friendship with Cassie. It's annoying, but it is what it is. In the 4 years, I have surprisingly been able to avoid running into her, even though she's a yoga instructor at my gym. And Cassie constantly tries to get us to go to her end of the summer party, but my family does a vacation every year around that time, so I've just never gone. This has caused Cassie to get pretty upset with me, but I don't care. Cassie is now pregnant and due in August. Her baby shower is this coming Sunday. Every single woman in my boyfriend's family, including his mother, has made a comment, understanding if I don't show up because they know Kate will be there. Just a couple days ago, Aaron's cousin made a comment to Aaron saying, the baby shower is coming up. Is Danny going? Won't that be weird? Then proceeded to say how she likes me better and that Kate is all about herself. I'm so tired of her being compared to me. I'm so tired of her having a relationship with everyone in his life. I'm tired of everyone in the family making it weird. He has a past. Who cares? She's around, okay? Aaron and I have been together 4 years. They have been broken up 6 or 7 years. That's crazy.
Oh my God.
People are still bringing it up, and it's been 7 years.
Bro, why?
Dude, come
You
on.
guys not have anything else to talk about?
Come on.
Okay.
Are you
real
about
quick.
to relate it again to me?
No.
Okay, thank
I won't
God.
do that again. But I'll relate it this way.
Okay.
I feel like there are two types of people. People that talk about people and people that talk about ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I might think a little higher here. If everyone's just talking about people every time I'm around, should I be spending a lot of my time with them in that regard? Or should I
Yeah.
spend my time with people that are like, so I'm like looking forward to this. I'm pursuing this in life. Da-da-da-da-da. You know?
Yeah. No, I do know. I think there are a lot of people. I love talking a little bit of gossip. I think it's fun. But I think sometimes it doesn't have to be the only thing you talk about.
I think whenever
Sometimes
you're
it just
talking
gets
about
boring.
gossip, it's in the regards of how this will affect someone's outcome in the end and like their ambitions and their things in life. If that makes sense.
Wait, me or like you?
Like
General.
in general, whenever we talk about that person.
Yeah.
Instead of like, this person, I hate when this person does this. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? It's just like, even whenever you do talk about people, it's in a certain kind of way.
Yes. Yeah. And sometimes it can be very annoying when people only, they're like, oh, I hate that person.
Yeah.
And like, there are certain people I've known that only talk negatively about other people. And that's like always what we're talking about. And it gets
Yeah.
exhausting. On top of all this, part of me truly believes that Cassie has been just aching to get Kate and I in the same room. I think she wants the interaction to happen. Cassie and I have not had the best relationship. She tried warning me about Aaron. She told Aaron after meeting me once that she didn't like me. I don't know what to do here. Why am I made to feel like the outsider? I bet no one is saying how weird it will be for her. What do I do here? How do I handle this when none of these comments are made to me? My boyfriend obviously tells them that there's no reason for it to be weird and that I'm fine with it. But how do I make this stop? I'm sorry if this felt all over the place with info and details, but I'm just so tired of dealing with this. Relevant comments. OP clarifies on why she's sending mixed messages to people around her and she's avoiding being around Kate. OP says, so I think you have me a bit wrong. I never actively went out of my way to avoid her. I wanted the interaction to happen from the beginning. If I find a guy, let's say, has female friends, I would rather meet them ASAP so it makes me real. Then I can see if they put boundaries in place. With this situation, I wanted his family feeling comfortable to have her and I in the same place. I'm not asking his family to end a relationship or friendship. I simply just don't care to know. The end of the summer party just always ended up being when I had a yearly family trip where Aaron came with me. He would tell me it didn't matter to him if he went or not, but I was going to make an effort this year since Cassie clearly has an issue. It just happened to work out that our paths just never crossed in the 4 years. I don't miss out on events or anything because I think she'll be there. I'm so very comfortable and confident in my relationship, and we have talked about rings, etc. I just simply want this narrative his family has to stop. It gives her power in our lives, and I just don't care about her being brought up.
That makes sense.
I
That makes
agree.
sense.
I think for me, relating, at a certain point, I just didn't even want to hear about my ex anymore. I was like, we don't have to keep talking about him.
Yeah,
We don't have to even talk about him.
like
That's
today.
fine. Yeah, like today when you started talking about my ex. I like at a certain point, it's just like, okay, I appreciate that you're trying to, relate and like be on my side. But at a certain point, it's just like,
It's old
I don't
news.
even want to talk about him.
That's the past.
So for OP, it's like, I don't even want to hear about this person. We don't, yeah, she'll be around, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We don't have to like bring up stuff about them. And I'm sure OP's boyfriend doesn't want that either.
Yeah, I do have 2 questions. One, Bandicoot says, how does the boyfriend react to these comments? That's a good question.
I'm sure it's super annoying for him.
And the second one, if OP were to talk to the mom about this, like, hey, I just don't feel comfortable with her being brought up, or like she figures out a way to really say it in a good way, will the mom go ahead and be, oh, so you are jealous, huh? You're jealous that they were together, huh? Blah, 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 huh?
That's so frustrating.
That probably will happen if she does try to say something.
Yeah.
You just got to fortify your mind, perhaps.
4 to 5.
Let it be like, oh, yeah, that's just one of the things we talk about daily. Yeah, whatever.
It's just that type of thing. Commenter 1 says, wait, hold up. Am I mathing the timeline right? Did Kate start dating your boyfriend when he was 18 or 19 and she was a full decade older? And the family is totally cool with this woman continuing to be entrenched in their lives and is constantly comparing you to her? Her attendance at family functions is more important than yours? Kate's a total creep. What the heck? I don't even think this would be a question if the genders were flipped. It wasn't very clear to me how your boyfriend feels about this situation. This seems to be mostly just a problem with his family. Have you guys had a serious conversation about Kate? Hopefully you guys are on the same page on this. If you guys can present a united front of, hey, please stop expecting us to associate with Kate. Stop comparing OP to Kate. This is super weird and uncomfortable. I think that will be more successful than you alone, where you can get painted as the jealous, insecure woman. And if your boyfriend doesn't have your back, and God forbid isn't actually over Kate or something, well, then you know to stop wasting your time and get the heck out of there. OP says, thank you. I call her Mrs. Robinson. I believe he was 20 or 21, so my math may not be mathing, but I know he had a year-long relationship with someone else between her and I. I think it's so gross for a 30 to 31-year-old to go for a younger guy, especially a 20 to 21-year-old boy. Also a woman with a younger daughter. She had a daughter and he was 20 and she was 30.
Hey, he was also pursuing it too. He could have not. It is weird that she said that, but I also think he should have
No, because I think even if we swapped this, I think it would be like, it's weird. I don't like, why is a 30-year-old pursuing a relationship with a 20-year-old? You are at completely different stages of your life.
Yeah.
She has a daughter, so she very
Yeah.
much is in completely different stages of their
But-
life. He's in college
Yeah, if I'm in college and I'm 20 and I'm talking to a 30-year-old
with a daughter.
with a daughter, like, why are we entertaining this as a 20-year-old? You know?
Yeah, but
Like,
I
his
think
brain's
it's
probably not fully developed, and he's
yeah.
like, oh, she's pretty.
Oh, she's
Okay,
pretty. She's
woman.
attracted to me. She's an older woman. It's on the older person to be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be pursuing this. My boyfriend ended the relationship because he couldn't see marrying her, and he wants a family. Everyone in his family talks highly of her, though, so I think she's a very bubbly, charismatic person. I just think if my kid did that, I'd have an issue. Being 29 now, you got young guys repulse me. I think they don't speak about it out of respect for my boyfriend. They don't much talk about their feelings. My boyfriend hardly tells his family what is going on in his life.
Yeah, young guys nowadays. Yo, chat, what do you think about this new fine shite I got next to me? That's lingo. That's the lingo they're going to be talking. I can't stand it.
Always been like that.
Aaron, Opie's boyfriend, needs to set boundaries on Kate attending the family events and making a scene towards Opie in front of Aaron's family. Opie should be able to attend the baby shower. Opie says, it's funny you say that because somehow, either through Cassie or maybe dinners at Cassie and Nate's house, that Aaron and I don't get invited to. Aaron's mom knew about his ex's daughter getting into a specific college. Oh, she's that old. My mind raced about that one and how that conversation happened, or if his parents still spend time with her in some sort of secret way. I want to draw a line in only one way. I don't want his family comparing or drawing conclusions on how they think I will react. When for a long time, I did just want to meet her to get it out of the way. I definitely intend to go. It proves the family right if I don't, in my opinion. They will all think I didn't show because of her, and I refuse to allow anyone to have anything more to talk about with the situation. My boyfriend doesn't let it bother him. He doesn't entertain any conversation about her. But he doesn't like conflict. I mean, he shut down his cousin's convo quickly about it when I wasn't there. If I were there, or at least these comments were made to me, I would react differently. I was just thinking about going with my boyfriend's mom, maybe even discussing the topic with her in private beforehand too. Just mentioning I don't like the topic of her and how it made me uncomfortable knowing she knew about her daughter's college acceptance, that it made me feel as though there is some secret relationship they still have with her. My boyfriend has told me things I can do that might get her under her skin a bit if I want to go that route. LOL. Update. So the baby shower was yesterday, and I thought about posting it, but I was so frustrated yesterday that I didn't want it to be a rage post. There was no crazy petty confrontation or drama. There actually isn't anything huge to really report, but I have officially met Kate. It was Cassie's baby shower, and her sister had actually ended up going into labor yesterday morning, so everyone was more concerned with that than anything else. I showed up about a half hour early to help my boyfriend's mom in case she needed it. It was just my boyfriend's mom and Kate there when I showed up. I also her current boyfriend. She immediately introduced herself, and I started helping away any way I could. She was very kind. As people started showing up, though, she made a comment saying, "Oh, I should introduce myself," to everyone who showed up. My boyfriend's aunt showed up, and they hugged and chatted a bit, along with Aaron's cousin. It felt so strange to watch them all interact. She still very much has a good relationship with them all. I didn't let that get to me, though. We had a couple more interactions where she commented my outfit and made small talk about the food, but I didn't let the conversation go on long. I stayed at a table with all of my boyfriend's family, his mom, his mom's friends, his aunt, cousin. I felt her eyes on me most of the day. Her cousin was there too. For some reason, it stuck out to me again that boyfriend's mom was talking to her friend about Kate and her daughter and the colleges she got into. But all of his mom's friends were mostly chatting to me about the house my boyfriend and I were building. Interesting. One of them had even said, "Wow, the last name boy really know how to pick beautiful women." So it is strange that the mom is very hyper-focused. Or not, I'm just going to say hyper-focused. But the mom's hyper-focused on Kate and her daughter's life rather than OP and like the things she's got going on in her life.
Yeah. I mean, none of these people are seemingly over the relationship that OP's boyfriend had with Kate.
Or her friends are more interested in OP than Kate.
Yes,
but the mom can't, like,
yes,
what
right.
you said for the mom, she
Yeah.
really can't Why is that? Does she?
It's weird.
Do you think she secretly wants?
I think so.
This was just something nice to hear in that really odd situation. However, I guess she would be included in that in some capacity. I got a home, and my boyfriend had asked me how it went because his mom mentioned her and I chatting. I crashed out on him. For some reason, it just hit me that this woman is not going anywhere, and I have absolutely no control of that. If we have kids down the road, one day she will most likely meet them, and for some reason that bothers me. The family views her in a positive light when she was about 30 to 31 and dated my boyfriend at 20 to 21. I know some people struggle with that math in my original post, but they had to have broken up when he was 26. He dated someone between the two of us, and then I met him when he was 28, turning 29. And you know what goes from 67 to 68? The amount of days you can listen to us on your favorite podcast platform. Just go to OK Storytime on iHeart Radio, Apple, or Spotify and listen to us there all day long. So I think OP's still, we got a little bit more here. OP's still contemplating like this dynamic and I guess the realization of Kate's always going to be around.
It is tough. It's like this person who is your partner's ex, who you keep getting compared to, is if you're gonna have a relationship with your partner's family, she's never gonna go away because they love her.
Yeah. I will say I'm so glad my ex moved to Georgia and then broke up with me because I've only seen her once since then. That is so nice. A blessing. Yep.
Ain't me.
And then I moved to LA, so I probably will never ever see her again. And she's married. Good for her.
Well, there you go.
There you go. So I'm
You're good. You're
hot
home free.
diggity dog. Okay. Back to the story. Her current boyfriend is 8 years younger too. I know it kind of is irrelevant, but I'm so annoyed at this situation. I'll be seeing her again before the end of the summer at Cassie's party. I'm going once and never going again, LOL. I think I'm allowed not to want to be around her. My boyfriend feels the same. We both know we can't do anything about the rest of the family having a relationship with her. But from here on out, we don't want to hear about her or have contact with her. I know quite a bit about my boyfriend and Kate's relationship. I think she corrupted him in so many ways. I want so badly to tell his mother all the things I know so she understands exactly what kind of person she is. But at the end of the day, she got the boy and I got the man.
Ooh.
Which, low key, if she keeps up with it, I think she might have to drop that knowledge on her.
How did Kate corrupt Aaron during their relationship? OP says, without going into too much detail, let's just say they had a type of open relationship. Commenter 1, honestly, it feels like Cassie wants Kate to be her sister-in-law instead of you. This isn't over, but it's still weird AF. OP says, this isn't over. Ugh, that's what I'm afraid of. Cassie and her sister got pregnant like the same week. They live on the same street and are both besties with Kate. They'd love if my boyfriend and Kate got back together and they could all be sister-in-laws. Cassie and Nate used to be the only two who would come over for family dinners, and now her sister comes every time. Which I guess, in a way, my boyfriend's parents are still family, but when they come, all they do is talk about being pregnant, and I'm just gonna exclude it. It's such a complicated and odd dynamic. It just feels like Cassie wants to push me out. Commenter 2, you guys don't have to go to where she's going to be. Let everyone know it's you two or her. OP says, the last thing I want to do is say that. Cassie and Kate have a 20 to 30 year long friendship. They grew up together. It's just not an option I'm okay with giving them. What I am okay with is saying I don't want to hear about her, and neither does my boyfriend. How does OP's boyfriend feel about the situation with Kate and Cassie? OP says, my boyfriend is new to the whole setting boundaries thing, LOL. He is slowly getting better, and I'm proud of him for that. He had friends who would walk all over him, and he finally was stern with them and created those clear boundaries. His cousin is the worst when it comes to talking about her. I told him next time he needs to say, why do you think I care about hearing about her? Or something along those lines. He says he normally just gives her a one-word reply or just tries to walk away from the conversation, which he believes is easier because of the kind of person she is. But I told him clearly that isn't clear to her and to say something very clear and direct next time. He also made it very clear that he doesn't want to go to the party that he knows she'll be at. His decision, not mine. I was fine with that, and his family will have to understand. I did also have a conversation with him, just saying that it's clear that Cassie and I just will never have that close relationship I was hoping we'd have. And I have to accept that. Family is important to me, however, so I will keep putting in the effort that family should. But I just don't expect the same in return. If I or my boyfriend give that boundary to her, I feel it might cause a greater divide. I would be fine with him going to his mom, but I would worry about his brother or sister-in-law maybe taking it wrong or just not inviting us at all, which they have already kind of done with even small family get-togethers. And that is the end of that story, folks.